If you were not paying very close attention to the shadows lingering just behind Trina Robinson during her recent scenes at the art gallery, you completely missed the real story that the writers are quietly setting up right in front of our eyes. It was just a fleeting silhouette, a specific way the figure shifted its weight in the background, but for those of us who have spent decades analyzing every single frame of this show, that subtle body language was an absolute dead giveaway. We are not dealing with a random music producer named Simon, and we are certainly not dealing with Quinn. That shadow belongs to someone we were told was gone forever. It belongs to Dex. I have been watching this beautiful show since the golden era of soap operas, back when storylines were given the time to breathe and evolve over years, not just weeks. When I saw that familiar shadow trailing Trina, my mind instantly went back to the early 1990s. Do you remember when our beloved legacy character, Anna Devane, was presumed dead in that horrific boat explosion with Caesar Faison? For years, we mourned her, believing that the brilliant, fearless WSB agent was truly gone from this earth. But the writers of that era understood the profound power of long-term storytelling. When Anna finally returned to us, it was revealed that she had been secretly alive, operating in the shadows, her survival hidden from the very people who loved her most. We are seeing a direct parallel to that classic trope right now. The writers are pulling from their rich, decades long history to give us a complex resurrection story, but this time, the dynamic has shifted entirely. Anna Devane is no longer the one hiding in the shadows. She is the puppet master pulling the strings of a young man who was brutally taken from us. Let us take a moment to reflect on the absolute tragedy of what happened to Dex. We all watched in horror when he was viciously attacked and presumably murdered by the late Cyrus. The grief that washed over Port Charles was palpable, but no one suffered more than Jocelyn Jacks. Dex and Jocelyn had that rare, undeniable spark. If you ask me, they had all the makings of a modern day super couple, reminiscent of the great romances that built this franchise. When Cyrus supposedly ended Dex's life, it shattered Jocelyn's world into a million jagged pieces. We watched her weep, we watched her harden her heart, and we watched her transform her profound grief into a dangerous new career path with the WSB. But what if that grief was entirely based on a lie? The evidence is stacking up, and I am entirely convinced that Dex did not die that day. He survived, but his survival was immediately covered up by a woman who knows exactly how to make people disappear. This brings us to the deeply troubling state of Anna Devane. We all know that our beloved police commissioner has been struggling immensely. She is carrying the heavy burden of her past, and we have seen her secretly tormented by vivid, terrifying hallucinations of Peter August. Her mental state is fragile, and her paranoia is spiraling out of control. The idea that Anna secretly saved Dex after Cyrus's attack makes perfect, chilling sense in the context of her current psychological unraveling. Anna has always been a master of secrets, a woman who believes that the ends justify the means. By keeping Dex hidden, nursing him back to health in absolute secrecy, and covering up the truth of his survival from the entire town, she has created the ultimate, uncompromisingly loyal operative. Dex owes her his life. He is indebted to her in a way that goes beyond a standard professional relationship. He simply cannot refuse her orders, even if those orders demand that he break his own heart. This storyline fundamentally challenges Anna's character integrity, taking her from a heroic, straightforward legacy character to a manipulative, deeply flawed strategist who is playing God with the lives of the younger generation. Let us take a deeper look at the World Security Bureau itself to understand why Anna would do this. For those of us who remember the classic spy stories of the 80s and 90s, the WSB has never been a purely benevolent organization. They operate in the gray areas of morality, using people as disposable assets. The introduction of the mysterious leader Z has brought that chilling reality back to the forefront. Z is playing mind games with Carly Spencer, flirting with her while flat out refusing to release Jocelyn from her dangerous new life. He sees Jocelyn's raw talent and wants to weaponize her grief. This makes Anna's secret deployment of Dex even more complex. Is Anna working with Z, or is she running a rogue operation to undermine him? If Anna is hallucinating Peter August, her motivations might be entirely corrupted by her trauma. Peter was the ultimate manipulator, a villain who destroyed lives with a smile. If Peter's ghost is whispering in Anna's ear, guiding her decisions regarding Dex and Jocelyn, then Dex is not just following orders. He is a pawn in a mad woman's game. This adds a terrifying layer of psychological horror to the romance. Why would Anna keep Dex hidden instead of returning him to the woman he loves? The answer lies in Jocelyn's shocking new trajectory. Jocelyn is currently navigating incredibly treacherous waters, having brokered secret high-stakes deals with Z. She successfully secured the freedom of Jason Morgan and Valentine Cassadine, proving that she is no longer just a naive college student. She is a capable, dangerous operative. Anna Devane, with all her decades of traumatic WSB experience, knows exactly how soul-crushing and deadly this organization can be. I believe Anna has tasked Dex with a highly classified mission to investigate Jocelyn's work for the WSB. How utterly tragic and poetic is that? Dex is a young man who loves Jocelyn so deeply, yet he is being forced by his savior to treat the woman of his dreams as an investigative target. When we talk about super couples, we talk about undeniable chemistry and tragic circumstances that tear them apart, only to inevitably draw them back together. Think of Luke and Laura on the run, or Sunny and Brenda's star-crossed agony. Dex and Jocelyn were forged in the fires of mob violence and constant danger. Dex took beatings, he took bullets, and he risked everything to protect her from the darkness of Sunny's world. For Jocelyn to believe he died a brutal death at the hands of Cyrus, a man who represents the absolute worst of the criminal underworld, was a trauma that fundamentally altered her DNA. She shed her innocent college girl persona and stepped into the ruthless shoes of a WSB agent because she felt she had nothing left to lose. When Dex finally reveals himself, he will not be returned to the girl he left behind. He will be facing a hardened, highly trained operative who has learned to survive in a world of lies. The emotional reckoning between them will be nothing short of spectacular. He will have to answer for every tear she shed, every nightmare she endured, and every dangerous choice she made while believing she was completely alone in the world. This leads us to the brilliant, subtle tactical choice that Dex is making right now. Why is he stalking Trina Robinson instead of following Jocelyn directly? It is because Trina is Jocelyn's absolute best friend, her ultimate confidant. Dex knows that Jocelyn shares her deepest secrets, her fears, and her WSB maneuvers with Trina. By silently monitoring Trina, Dex can gather crucial, unfiltered intelligence about Jocelyn's cases, her state of mind, and her physical safety, all without risking a direct confrontation. Dex knows that if he were to simply walk up to Jocelyn right now, the emotional shock would be overwhelming for her. But more importantly, he would have to look into the eyes of the woman he loves and lie to her face about why he is really back. Dex is choosing the agonizing path of staying in the shadows because he wants to fully understand the depth of Jocelyn's WSB involvement before he reveals himself. He wants to know exactly what kind of danger she is in, so that when he finally steps into the light, he can protect her completely. Imagine the sheer psychological agony Dex must be enduring every single day. He is standing just out of sight, watching the world move on without him, watching the woman he loves put herself in mortal danger. Dex is a soldier at his core. He was trained to follow orders, first by Sonny Corinthos, and now by Anna Devane. Every time he watches Trina from the shadows of the gallery, he is likely praying that she will drop a clue about Jocelyn's well-being. He is gathering intelligence, yes, but he is also acting as a silent, invisible guardian. If Jocelyn is truly in over her head with the WSB and knowing the WSB's dark, blood-soaked history, she absolutely is, Dex wants to be fully prepared to step in and save her. He cannot do that if he blows his cover too early. He must remain a ghost until he has all the pieces of the puzzle. And we absolutely must talk about the collateral damage in this espionage game. Sweet, brilliant Trina Robinson. When Trina eventually discovers that her terrifying, mysterious stalker was not a physical threat to her safety, but rather her best friend's presumed dead boyfriend, using her as a surveillance pawn, she is going to be rightfully furious. Trina has already reached her breaking point. She has demanded that her parents, Portia and Curtis, stop making her the center of their endless drama. She is trying to focus on her burgeoning music career and her performances with Giovanni. To find herself unknowingly placed at the very center of a massive, dangerous WSB conspiracy orchestrated by Anna and Dex is going to shatter her sense of security. The fallout between Trina, Jocelyn, and Dex will be absolutely monumental, providing us with months of compelling, emotionally charged television. Furthermore, we cannot ignore the hurricane that is Carly Spencer. Carly is already frantic, demanding that Z release Jocelyn from her spy duties, reminding everyone that she cannot survive losing another child. When Carly finds out that Anna Devane, a woman she has trusted and respected, has been hiding Dex and using him to spy on her daughter, the wrath of Carly Spencer will be biblical. The confrontation between Carly and Anna will be a clash of titans, a true highlight of long-term storytelling where past loyalties are burned to the ground over the fierce protection of a child. If you ask me, this is exactly the kind of intricate, deeply emotional, multi-layered storyline that keeps us veteran fans coming back to our screens decade after decade. It masterfully weaves together the rich history of the show, sweeping romance, high-stakes espionage, and profound psychological trauma. While it genuinely breaks my heart to see these beloved young characters manipulated and forced to hide in the cold shadows, I simply cannot deny the sheer brilliance of the narrative setup. The writers are setting the stage for an emotional explosion. I will be watching every single episode with bated breath, my tea in hand, waiting for that glorious, heartbreaking moment when Dex finally steps out of the darkness and into the light. Port Charles has always been a town built on beautiful ghosts and devastating secrets, and my passion for this incredible show remains as steadfast, warm, and unwavering as it was 30 years ago.